everything is about to collapse. One wrong signature, one rushed decision, and everything Tommy and Cami have built could disappear overnight. Episode 8 is not about oil anymore, it's about survival. And the scariest part is this: danger isn't coming from outside, it's already inside. Landman Season 2, Episode 8 opens with tension so thick it feels impossible to breathe. Tommy is no longer fighting small problems. He is trapped between impossible choices, powerful enemies, and a future that could destroy his family and his company at the same time. The oil wells that once promised hope now feel like ticking time bombs. Everyone wants answers, but no one is willing to take responsibility if things go wrong. Cami is under even more pressure. She is carrying the weight of the company on her shoulders, and fear is pushing her toward dangerous decisions. Her emotions are running faster than logic, and that is exactly what makes this situation terrifying. She wants results, not warnings. She wants success, not hesitation, and that desperation could cost them everything. Tommy tries to slow things down, but every voice around him is louder than reason. Investors want progress, rivals want failure, and the Wells do not care about anyone's feelings. One mistake could lead to financial ruin, or worse. The trust between Tommy and Cami is tested like never before, and for the first time, it feels like they are not standing on the same side. Meanwhile, Galino's shadow grows larger. His words sound calm, but his intentions feel darker than ever. He presents himself as a savior, yet every move he makes tightens his grip on the company. The more desperate M-Tex becomes, the more powerful Galino gets. And Tommy knows this, but knowing the danger does not mean he can escape it. There is also an unsettling silence from people who should be speaking up. Information feels controlled, numbers feel manipulated, and the truth about the Wells becomes harder to trust with every conversation. Someone is hiding something, and Episode 8 slowly builds the fear that betrayal is already in motion. By the end of this section, one thing is clear. This is no longer just a business crisis. It is a personal war. And as Tommy and Cami move forward, the question is no longer will something go wrong, but how bad will it be when it does? As Episode 8 moves forward, the biggest danger is no longer the oil wells. It is trust, or more accurately, the lack of it. Tommy begins to realize that every conversation feels like a negotiation, and every promise feels conditional. People who once stood beside him now seem to be watching him closely, as if waiting for him to fail. Cami, on the other hand, is pushing harder than ever. Her fear of losing everything is turning into stubborn determination. She believes that hesitation is weakness, and that bold action is the only way out. But this mindset creates cracks between her and Tommy. Where Tommy sees risk, Cami sees opportunity. Where Tommy wants time, Cami wants results now. Their partnership, once strong, now feels fragile. Galino uses this divide perfectly. He speaks to both of them differently, planting doubt in subtle ways. To Tommy, he sounds like a realist warning of disaster. To Cami, he sounds like the only person willing to fight. And that is what makes him so dangerous. He does not need to lie openly. He only needs to guide their fears in different directions. At the same time, questions around the oil data refuse to disappear. The numbers do not feel right. The success rate sounds too low, the risks sound too extreme, and yet no one can clearly explain why. This creates a quiet paranoia. Tommy starts wondering who benefits if the wells fail, and once that thought takes root, it becomes impossible to ignore. Charlie's presence becomes increasingly uncomfortable. On the surface, he seems professional, calm, and supportive. But there is something missing: transparency. His words feel carefully chosen, his conclusions oddly convenient for certain people. Tommy begins to sense that Charlie might not be on their side at all. And if that is true, the damage may already be done. As Episode 8 continues, desperation takes full control. Tommy is running out of safe options, and every path forward feels like a gamble with devastating consequences. The pressure is no longer abstract. It is personal, financial, and emotional. Failure now would not just destroy the company, it would destroy reputations, families, and futures. Cami reaches a breaking point. The fear of losing everything she has worked for pushes her toward a decision that could change the course of the entire season. She convinces herself that risk is better than collapse. In her mind, doing nothing is worse than making a dangerous move. But this choice places her directly in conflict with Tommy, who can see the warning signs clearly. Tommy tries to reason with her, but his voice feels drowned out by urgency. He understands the oil business well enough to know that rushing never ends well. Wells cannot be bullied into success. Contracts cannot be undone easily, and once certain doors are opened, they cannot be closed again. Still, the clock keeps ticking, and hesitation feels like surrender. Galino quietly tightens his control. He does not raise his voice or show anger. Instead, he waits. Every desperate move by Cami benefits him. Every argument between Tommy and Cami weakens their position. He presents himself as calm and prepared, the only one who seems unaffected by the chaos. And that alone should be a warning. Behind the scenes, information continues to feel manipulated. Reports are selective. Explanations are vague. And when Tommy pushes for clarity, answers come wrapped in uncertainty. This only deepens his suspicion that someone inside the company is steering them toward failure on purpose. The emotional cost becomes impossible to ignore. Stress shows in every conversation, every decision, every silence. Trust is fading fast, replaced by doubt and fear. Even moments of calm feel temporary, like the quiet before an explosion. By the end of this section, Episode 8 makes one thing painfully clear. Desperation is no longer a reaction. It is the driving force. And when desperation leads the way, mistakes are inevitable. The question is not whether someone will pay the price, but who will be sacrificed first when everything goes wrong. As Episode 8 pushes forward, the tension reaches a dangerous level where pretending is no longer possible. Small details begin to stand out, and the people everyone trusted start to feel unfamiliar. Tommy's instincts tell him that the problem is not just bad luck or bad timing. Something is being shaped behind the scenes, and the cracks are finally becoming visible. Cami starts to notice it too. The confidence she once had in certain people slowly turns into doubt. Conversations feel rehearsed, advice feels biased, and every reassurance comes with hidden consequences. For the first time, she begins to question whether her emotional decisions are being encouraged on purpose. This realization hits hard because it means her fear may have been used against her. Galino's behavior becomes more revealing. His calm tone no longer feels supportive. It feels calculated. He seems prepared for outcomes others are afraid of, almost as if he expects things to go wrong. The more chaos grows inside M-Tex, the more comfortable Galino appears. And that comfort is unsettling. By the end of this section, the episode creates a chilling feeling. The enemy may not need to attack openly anymore. The damage has already begun. And when masks finally slip, the truth might be far more dangerous than anyone is prepared for. The final stretch of Episode 8 feels like standing at the edge of a cliff. There is no safe ground left, only choices that lead to consequences. Tommy understands that whatever happens next will define the future of the company and his own integrity. Walking away is impossible. Fighting back may come at a terrible cost. Cami faces her own reckoning. She realizes that saving the company at any cost may mean losing control over it completely. The emotional decisions she made out of fear now stand in front of her like permanent scars. And the worst part is knowing that even if she sees the truth now, reversing it may no longer be possible. The threat of legal trouble grows heavier. Contracts feel like traps. Agreements feel one-sided. And the idea of being locked into a future controlled by someone else becomes terrifyingly real. The oil wells are no longer symbols of hope. They are symbols of risk, power, and potential disaster. As the episode moves toward its end, anger finally replaces fear. Lines are crossed. Accusations surface. And for the first time, Cami openly challenges Galino. Her reaction suggests that something deeply personal has been touched, something that can no longer be ignored or forgiven. This moment changes the tone completely. Episode 8 does not offer comfort. It offers warning. It tells us that the worst battles are not fought with machines or money, but with trust, manipulation, and timing. And as the season moves closer to its finale, one thing is clear. Someone will lose everything. The only question left is this. Will Tommy and Cami realize the truth in time, or will they discover it only after the damage is irreversible?